Hey Reddit. What things do you do with your SO that you'd never want another person to witness? My girlfriend and I play this game where we hate each other. It started about 3 years ago, when she told me she doesn't like me and I should stop being so weird. Then she fucked some random guy she met. And then eventually, and this is the good part, went so far as to move away to a different state and still hasn't called. Haha. She's so good at this game. We have full out conversations all in cat meows, as well as generally acting like cats towards each other. When we're in the car, one of us will reach over to hold the other's hand. But instead of it being romantic, we will start to imitate our hands having sex with each other through humping motions, finishing with jerky hand twitches. All our sexual organs have their own personalities, voices. For example, I speak daily to his penis and his little brother testicles, who have MIT degrees BTW. And my boyfriend does their voices when I talk to them. Also, all our body parts are all in a polygamous relationship with each other, i.e. his penis and my vagina are married. But his penis always gets it on with my mouth and butt. etc. etc. Edit. Thought of another. We also attempt to steal each other's sexy parts. When one of us has to go to work school, we make a huge show of effort to tug away one another's bits, i.e. penis for me, boobs vagina for him. Become upset when they don't come off. Then pat said bit and say one day, in a sad tone, TL. Dr. My so and I are obsessed with each other's reproductive parts. When she wants my attention she calls me from another room and then runs out quickly to see if I'm paying attention to her. I talk to her in a high-pitched tone and ask her questions like "Do you love me?" until she responds. Sometimes I make up songs about her and sing them to her when no one else is around. Sometimes I wake up to her licking lotion off my face, but I'll let her do it because I know she enjoys it. My cat and I really love each other. I violently dry hump my husband without saying a word. And the more he complains the longer I'll go. And when I dramatically finish I throw a dollar bill or something at him and say, "Here. I'll see you next week. Don't call," and then leave the room. Or he'll grab my boobs and insist they're his only friends and refuse to let go. There's a whole backstory about me being the only thing between them and true happiness. Oh god, we're weird. My so has me sit on top of him topless and let my breasts dangle over his face. He pulls them over his eyes and says "booby goggles." Sometimes I'll move one out of the way and it becomes a booby monocle. I don't know how this started. My husband requires injections into his abdomen twice a day. He hates it. For obvious reasons. So to make it slightly more pleasant I decided to give them to him topless. He pretends to be really scared and hold on to my breasts. I am an RN and I would die of embarrassment if any of my colleagues and his physicians knew that was the reason. He always says I give the best injections. My husband does this thing where he grabs and massages the top of my head, in a motion similar to a claw machine, then flattens his hand out suddenly. Then he says, "It was a brain sucker and it starved to death." Silly. Should be offensive. But always makes me laugh. I have one nose hair that grows to mutant length. Like it starts far back in my nose and by the time it grows to the point I can pull it, it is longer and thicker than my eyebrow hair. So naturally when I pull this sucker out, I proceed to try and stick it back up my so's nose. My girlfriend and I will sleep together and she'll wake up before me the next morning, take a shower, come back to bed after her shower and wake me up by rubbing her boobs in my face. Multiple times a week. No wonder I miss her right now. My girlfriend very often will bite random parts of me, usually my arms or hands, while going gang in rhythm with the pressure of her teeth. I do the same back. It's a show of affection for us whenever we find something good or pleasing, in a non-sexual way. We make fapping or schlicking motions with appropriate noises. My hands are practically glued to her bottom, it's so firm and smooth. We tickle each other for no reason whatsoever until the battle becomes dangerous due to flailing limbs blowing raspberries on each other's skin. But instead of constant noise, we fluctuate the airflow, Instead of a PFFFFFFFFFFFFFFT. It'll go fuffuffuffuffed when we shower. We wash each other. But she focuses on my chest hair and how much lather she can create with a fixed D on her face. I pretend to make out with her belly button. Complete with fake sexy conversation and her hysterical laughter. Make faces at each other for no reason. We like to make passerbys incredibly uncomfortable. For instance, last night we pretended to awkwardly make out like 13-year-olds and then kiss each other's tongues romantically. We do lots of weird kissing things. We get super weird when we're just by ourselves. He does this thing where he talks breakfast to me. By that, he seductively whispers our favorite breakfast items in my ear while trying to arouse me at the same time. For instance, "Oh baby, those biscuits and gravy look so good. Soft, fluffy biscuits with a little bit of butter in between. Then those perfect biscuits are smothered in a dreamy, thick gravy with a smoky sausage flavor." This is just a glimpse. But he's pretty good at talking breakfast to me. My girlfriend and I will often act out the fight scenes in kung fu movies. This usually entails us jumping on the bed and throwing punches and stuff. This devolves into grappling, which later devolves to making out and lots of sex. The other thing she does is let me have total breakdown different than my usual ones. And she'll just watch, and to make me feel better we'll get cinnamon rolls from Cinemonster, unroll them and tie them around her tits, and put on a crown and say, "Do you want to help out the cinnamon princess, you brave adventurer?" And you can imagine what happens. Otherwise, we just have our usual relationship of dom and sub. And she pretends to be my horse, which only gets better now that there's My Little Pony. Anytime I want to take my bra off, if my boyfriend is with me, he has to be the one to take it off or his day is completely ruined. He likes to use my boobs as pillows, and we've since named it booby time. If I don't have a bra on, then it's called organic booby time. I love popping his pimples and getting blackheads and ingrown hairs. But there's been times where I've taken him by surprise and it hurt like hell. So now before I begin grooming I have to announce going in for the kill, and once I pop a pimple or something, I have to call out "target eliminated." Double quote. After sexy time, he likes to squeeze my boobs together and smash his face into them. Then talk into them like it's a cave and ask if anyone is in there. After a short pause, I casually reply with a yes. While spooning he likes to put his finger in my belly button, which he calls plugging in. I really dislike him doing this to me. And then there's this weird fart thing we do called trading Pokemon, where we press our butts together and then fart into each other's butt cracks. We mostly trade ghastlies. And lastly, there was this one time where we waited a year till McDonald's had Shamrock Shakes back on the menu, due to a bet or conversation we had, which I can't really remember. Ordered a small Shamrock Shake, then when we got home he got naked in the shower and I poured it down his butt crack. He started laughing so hard that he started farting Shamrock Shake bubbles. I don't care if you don't believe me. It happened, and that probably would have been the most awkward situation for someone to walk in on. I think I've said enough to leave many disturbing images in everyone's head. Sorry about formatting. I'm on my phone. When my boyfriend and I are anywhere in public and are bantering back and forth, he always makes me be quiet by saying loudly, "Oh, where can we get what you need for your diarrhea?" Or "What's that? You think you have diarrhea, babe?" Double quote. It's strange and people laugh at us, but it makes me quit taking things so serious, even though it's embarrassing. My BF pretends that he's having an affair with my own butt. If I'm laying on my stomach, he'll jump on me and hug my butt. He'll then proceed to talk to it, like, "Hey butt, yo, I miss you too. I don't think she knows I love you." And when I look around at him he gives me a rude look and says, "Excuse me, I'm having a conversation here." Double quote. I get occasional chin hairs and he will bite them off in a really sexy way if he notices. We will just hang around and make funny faces and noises at each other and act like it's completely normal. And this happens frequently throughout the day. When we give each other back rubs we have to instinctively scratch off the scabs on each other's backs. We will be cuddling in bed having a normal conversation with my hand down his pants flopping his flaccid penis around. They are so much fun to play with. When he notices what is going on he is like, what the heck are we doing? And laughs his ass off. After sex, cuddling usually ends early so he can play drum beats on my body or inspect random objects around his room. I'm pretty sure we do weirder stuff than this, but it's late and I can't think properly because I'm tired. I dry hump my boyfriend to wake him up making pug snorting noises and then proceed to lick him. I also credit card his butt. Other times we see how fast we can shake the other's butt with our hands. Then he does the same with my boobs and tries to make them clap together, producing clapping sounds. Right square bracket. I had this ex that would randomly stop mid blowjob, put my penis in her hand and use it like a joystick. She would press my nuts like buttons, meanwhile making pew pew and whoosh noises. She really got into it as well. Would really pretend she was playing a game. After a minute or so, she would finish me off. She also used to draw eyes on my dick and use the little opening as a mouth. We joked around about creating an animated show, but honestly I am too shy for that. When my boyfriend is naked I make him dance with emphasis on the swaying of his balls, or he makes his ass talk to me. Ace Ventura style. Laughs all the time. Every time. We talk to each other in broken Spanish. Even though our combined knowledge is high school Spanish 3. When we're smoking a bowl together, we constantly get into loud, serious, and curse-filled arguments about subjects that are just thrown out there. Like, we got into an argument about who has better homeless people, me, Asian, or him, white. We came to the conclusion that he wins, because we both had never seen a homeless Asian person. Boyfriend asked to watch me put a tampon in. I agreed if he let me watch him pee. We both show each other our differing sex organs. It's a long list, but here are some highlights. When she's on the phone with her parents, I actively do my best to fondle her naughty bits while she attempts to upkeep some sort of a normal conversation. We work a block from each other, so we send each other love notes with customers who we know are coming to the other's restaurant. Occasionally when I'm caressing her face I sneak my finger into her nose and make her eat her own boogers. Copious spontaneous nude shower butt dances. 5 to 10 minute conversations spoken entirely in meows. Sometimes I make her breasts talk to each other. The left one sounds sort of like a black dynamite MRT and the right one is a very privileged Englishman. They're friends. My wife and I go on dates and pretend like we don't know each other. I'll approach her and start talking to her. Buy her a drink. But then we eventually notice we both have rings on our fingers, so it gets a little weird. Then I offer to give her a ride home, but I realize that I don't have my car. So she drives me home. I invite her into my house and she then sees that I have a son. More awkwardness. But in the end we go upstairs and fuck anyways, and in the morning I kick her out. My hubby is the more normal one, but I am pretty weird. I will randomly walk into the living room holding the hem of my dress. Then like a flash will put my arms straight up, completely exposing myself. I will also dry hump him if he bends over. I also will reach up his shirt anytime he kisses me and I will tweak his nips. He hates that. Oh. And I always lift his shirt then blow raspberries. I'm sure there's a lot more, but it's all I can think of right now. My fiance and I have 6 stuffed toy children. They are the various teddies we have bought each other over the course of our relationship. They all have their own voices, personalities, temperaments and other characteristics. We treat them exactly as though they are kids. We share food, make them tidy up, discipline them, let them pick which movie we are going to watch, make them take it in turns to get daddy cuddles or mummy cuddles. We try to explain life's big questions to them, etc etc. The list goes on. Tsuki Bear even has a pet puppy. They are 100% our kids. And anytime one of us has asked the other when we will grow out of it, we get really upset. We have often panicked about what we will do when we have human babies and how we will divide our time between them all. If anyone I know IRL knew this, I think I would die of shame. Haha, my girl and I fit in well here. So she'll put her mouth over my nose and blow so it comes out of my mouth. It feels cool. Close bracket. So when one of you starts shifting and flexing our stomach, the other will realize it's fart time and try to squeeze one out for the other by pressing on the belly. Then we toot at each other until we are out of toots. So eyes. She has also named my junk and 4 of my teeth. They all have their own personalities and voices. Josephus, the hammer, will change personalities and confidences depending on his erectness. So sometimes we'll be cuddling and it will turn into either a horrible tickle fight or she'll get on my back and I'll transform into a happy horse that wants to take her the world over. Until the random bucking cuts in. Her retaliation is usually more tickling. So we're super playful and I love her, I sigh. Hope I'm not too late to chime in. Girl A and I had an entire language of nonsense words such as squinch and chum. We also referred to my dick as Rafiki and would talk about him in public. So much so that several of our good friends ended up figuring out who Rafiki was. Girl B and I would greet each other with Shirley Temple songs. Every time we saw each other. Usually the first to see the other would sneak up and say animal crackers in my soup. To which the other was required to reply monkeys and lions loop the loop. Double quote. Girl C and I would pretend to be penguins before and during sex. Usually starting the night when one of us looked at the other and performed an elaborate happy feet style dance. Because I lost my virginity to her while watching happy feet. I'm also weird to women I'm less serious with. And so far, they all enjoy it. For example, I had ons with girl D. Easily one of the 2 hottest girls I've been with. And we spent most of our time in between fucking discussing, and then mimicking, grasshopper sex. Girl E, on the other hand, would only let me sleep with her and her girlfriend, girl F, on nights that I could beat her in one-on-one combat. No joke. One night I ended up spraining her neck after she got me with a wicked Charlie horse to the ribs and we had amazing, if gentle, sex because of that. Interesting times. TL. DR. I'm a weird motherfucker. And I love it. My ex and I used to have really bad makeouts when we were bored. I would miss his mouth and suction to his cheek or something like a lamprey. And while kissing I'd ask in a monotone. Is this it? Does this turn you on? He'd sloppily lick all over my mouth and sometimes accidentally stick his tongue up my nose. We'd also heartily smack each other and then aggressively drag our hands over the face, chest, whatever and ask if this was heavy petting. He'd also casually put his hand on and cup one of my butt cheeks. Sigh. And claim it as his. Then I'd pretend to cry and complain that I only have one butt cheek. Who would love me now? Double quote. Then we'd make up the plot of a Lifetime movie of the harrowing tale of a woman with one butt cheek and how she still managed to find love. After 20 years of marriage. We have many. 1. His most favorite thing to do to me is to goose me as I try to go upstairs. 2. Holding hands in public. He rubs between my forefinger and middle finger with his thumb in the most suggestive way possible, and as I blush and try to pull away, he just grasps my hand harder and rubs more vigorously. 3. When going in for a kiss. He sometimes surprises me by blowing air and inflating my face. 4. He likes to wait till I'm in the shower washing my face, then quietly opens the door to grab my nipples or touch my butt. 5. When he's trying to be grouchy, I just stare at him with a stupid grin on my face till he starts laughing while also getting mad at me for looking at him that way. 6. He knows he can still make me blush, so he loves staring at me just to make my face turn bright red. 7. He will kill a spider for me even if it means getting out of bed to do so. His reward is that he gets to chase me with the dead spider and I scream and pretend to be scared of a dead spider just because I know he loves that game so much. I could go on and on. If you can find someone to be goofy and silly with, hold on to them. We are 39 and 42 and we still act like teenagers with each other. Close bracket. My girlfriend will text me the message. Hiding, that means she is hiding somewhere in the apartment. I hate it and it makes me freak out. The last time she did it, I was in the hallway for 30 minutes. Because I was too freaked out to enter the apartment. I was screaming and yelling. But she wouldn't show herself. At the end I was rolling on the ground, laughing hysterical, and I literally felt like I was going insane. This is now on the list of 2 things she is not allowed to do anymore. The other one is making farts in her hand and releasing them into my face when we are driving on dangerous roads. My GF likes to take my erect penis and pretend it's a gear shift and she's driving a NASCAR. I lay down on the bed twice a day. Once in the morning and once at night when she is getting dressed and then getting undressed, and watch her. I have music in my head that plays in my head. I don't sing it because I think that she would banish me from the bedroom. My husband will do a naked belly dance that is pretty disturbing. To get back at him I do what I call the old man face. My boobs are the eyes and I move my fat to make it look like my belly is talking. It is insane. A little gross. But very funny. I can't do it now at 34 weeks pregnant. But it doesn't stop him. I threaten to spray him with breast milk when I can. But that won't be until after the baby is here. For the record, my husband and I are less crazy than the previous generation, so there is a chance our baby can pass as normal. A small chance. But a chance nonetheless. Edit. I also do boob attacks. Basically, if he is sitting on the couch and I am walking behind him, I will bend down, put my boobs on either side of his head and then hit him with them. My super manly looking boyfriend and I use the weirdest baby talk sometimes. A lot of the time it's when he grabs my boobs and then in a little voice he goes, "Boobs." Or he has a habit of loving on my butt. So he'll run after me and grab at it and poke it and go, "I've got your butt." It's friggin' adorable. And I bet if any of the guys on his team knew that baby talk was a regular thing in our relationship, they would never let him live it down. Ever. Man. I am so glad I am not the only one who randomly dry humps my so. A lot of times, I pretend to be doing him in the butt. I am a woman. And I say AWW, yeah. You like that? Don't you? In a creepy deep voice. And he goes, "You go." Like the anime girls in hentai. Pretty ridiculous. Since he is 6 feet 4 inches and I am 5 feet 7 inches. My crotch is below his butt. So I am usually humping his upper thighs. If anyone saw us doing that, I would die of embarrassment. We fake bite each other's body parts, pulling lips over teeth and biting, and then the bitey would get offended. In order to get the body part back, the biter would have to kiss that body part. We've made a habit of making noises. Say I would make a noise on a whim. She would make it back. Then I would make it back to her. Too. Then so on and so on. Getting more and more exaggerated until we both laugh. This also works with gestures and facial expressions. They get really exaggerated. Sometimes when I hug her, I give her a big bear hug and growl. She loves it. There was a recent thing where, in order to say you're sorry for something, you have to put a pillow over your head and say you're sorry. Then to say it's okay, you have to do the same. But say you're okay. There's plenty more. But I can't really think of them right now. It's probably because we've been together collectively for about 4 years. They all seem normal now. My boyfriend and I have a relationship like this too. Some of our things include licking each other's faces. Like full on. Whole tongue licks. Poking each other in the bum hole. I'm apparently pretty flexible and he folds me up so my knees are around my ears whilst we talk. Licking our finger and putting it in each other's ears. When we cook together he narrates it like we're on a cooking show. Even though he's mostly just chopping things and clearing up and makes me call him chef. Sniffing each other. He's quite a bit taller than me so sniffs my hair and I sniff near his armpit. I love how he smells more than anything. There are others but I'm getting too many warm fuzzies to continue. 3. When my husband and I kiss. Sometimes we'll just leave our mouths open and lips pressed together and just scream into each other's mouths. Occasionally, we'll try to harmonize. I don't know if he mentioned it on here, but I play a game I like to call Limp Wife. If we're cuddling and he wants to get up but I'm not ready, I'll relax my entire body on his so that he has my dead weight and floppy limbs on him and can't move. I'm 5 feet 1 inches and 105 pounds and he's 6 feet 2 inches and 180 pounds, so it makes it even funnier to me. Whenever I get ready to take a shower, I'll strip down and quick run out of the bathroom to wherever he is and shout, "Spring break," shake my boobs, and then run back to the bathroom. Those are just a handful. My fiancé and I, lesbians, have these little alter egos that we sometimes talk to each other in. They're named Schnoo, her, and Schneek, me, and they are a gay male couple who can't move their lips when talking and must maintain a smile and creepy wide eyes. We think it is hilarious because Schnoo says things like the sky is green because trees, but thinking about it now, it would probably be creepy for others to witness. We are both lazy people, and as such, we find it very helpful when one of us pushes the other up hills or upstairs. We also like to have our arms held up, where it is completely relaxed and supported by the other person. It's almost embarrassing, though, when someone we know tells us they saw us walking home or to the store or whatever, and we have to ask, were we doing something weird? Double quote. How me and my boyfriend do the ritual butt dance too. XD. One thing we do is we like to nuzzle and cuddle, and when we get really into it one of us will whisper into the other's ear, "Did you know that you're my girlfriend boyfriend?" Depends on who says it to who, and then the other will respond with something like, yelling no, or "WHO told you," or "Oh my gosh, I had not idea," and then we'll squeeze each other really hard and yell "woo," or something silly like that. Capital P. He likes to throw any large swath of fabric at me, coat, sweater, towel, etc., so that it drapes over me like an old-time ghost costume. He does this, giggles, then runs away. I like to poke his junk and point out his balls rippling when we're laying down. Sometimes a hug will turn into him trying to climb me like Mount Everest, or I'll unexpectedly hear "catch me" and turn around to see him running at me. We also speak in gibberish, sometimes fashtadafadu, afastadatha, with our manic expressions attempting to tell the whole story. We tell each other we're pretty and that we love each other at least 3 times an hour. We play weird chicken, wherein one of us will start acting as though we will do something weird to the other, such as trying to lick my eyeball. Because this is weird for the both of us, the person who stops this interaction loses. I also tell him about most of the times I fart, and he'll come over and give me a hug. Apostrophe. Our friends have said that we just act like awesome best friends in public, and that they could never picture us having sex. Thanks. Because in public, we act totally normal, and try to keep our normal PDA down to non-disgusting levels. Oh, so many things. My favorite one recently is heavy metal party bed. One night he was really tired, and I got a burst of energy, so decided that my half of the bed would have a heavy metal party. Basically lots of jumping around and screaming in his face. We also do these. Continually yawn, rape each other. I'm winning. Lick each other's faces until far too wet with saliva. Have dramatic fake arguments. Claim all the sides when asked which side of the bed we want. Then lie in the middle taking up all the space. Tickle fight ensues. I climb on him. As in, he'll be sat at his computer and I get up onto his shoulders and sit. I steal his socks, and then after fighting over them we usually start throwing them at each other. I dress up in his boxers or shirt and say I'm name, and I wear boxers, in a high-pitched voice. My boyfriend and I often go like we are going to kiss each other, but instead we scream "I love you, I love you," repeatedly into each other's mouths. Similarly, we go like we are going to kiss, but then we just kind of pucker our lips together like fish. He often puts his mouth around my nose and sucks really hard. It's disgusting. We act like dinosaurs a lot, but we do that in public too. My BF and I have a thing called stealing cuteness. Sometimes when I am sitting he comes and squeezes the back of my neck and states he is stealing my cuteness. He then pretends to eat the said cuteness that he has stolen from me. It really tickles and usually ends with me chasing him trying to squeeze the back of his neck so I can regain some of my cuteness back. I have woken up in the middle of the night to him doing this, and sometimes I wait till he is driving to steal it back. Sometimes he pins me down and sucks out the cuteness by sucking on the back of my neck. When we are in public we do this to one another as well. And it is so much fun. Our friends have no idea why he and I get so paranoid when the other touches the back of the other's neck. We use our cuteness as bargaining tools too. X. I will let you steal cuteness with no resistance or revenge if you will do the dishes. Some things my wife likes to do. Presses her open mouth on my shirt and blows hot air for no reason at all. And won't stop. Flea bites my nipples. Makes fun of me whenever I mispronounce anything. Once I mispronounced pronunciation. She still makes fun of me for that. Once she caught me bent over in holy underwear. She grabbed them by the seat and yanked like a magician yanking a tablecloth. I was left standing in nothing but an elastic waistband. She has a huge collection of teddy bears. She likes to make some of them talk to me in strange voices. One of them used to yell at me. You shall take up serpents and they will not harm you. I'm from KY and she's from NY. And no. I've never attended a snake handling church, thank you very much. Also making fun of my KY roots. She likes to suggest that I fucked farm animals in my youth. She gets on all fours and says look. I'm presenting. Like on Animal Planet. After sexy time when I'm half asleep. She likes to dress up my penis with ribbons. Teddy bear clothes. Etc. And make it talk. God. I love her.